Hello, you beautiful viewers out there and you beautiful souls. Here we are back again, The Craft of Living, at another unboxing. And it has been a long time coming with me for this particular deck. Now, if any of you know me, you may know my witch journey. Long story short, I thought maybe I identified with a witch, and then when I put myself in that box, I decided that I didn't like that box, and I didn't want to be put in that box. So, and it has nothing to do with, it's just a personal thing. It has nothing to do with anybody that chooses to be in this box. I think that's really liberating, and I think that's wonderful. And don't think that, like, in a past life I haven't been a witch. I definitely believe for sure I have. But in this life, it's just a title that I choose to evolve beyond, if that makes sense. And I'm choosing to let go. However, I've arrived here back at the Witch's Garden. Yeah, for me, the title, for me personally, is too limiting, especially going into mediumship. I just found mediumship way more expansive for me, and it definitely feels like a better fit. But it took me a while, as you can tell, to kind of get over, like, oh, well, I don't feel like I identify with a witch, so I shouldn't be using a witch deck. Well, there was a lot of cards in here that really resonated with me, and there were some cards that did not resonate with me. So I learned from a fellow YouTuber, Dawn Michelle, if you've ever heard of her. I just started watching her. She came up with a way to kind of interview your deck and get familiar with your deck. And she talks about separating your deck into 3 piles when you first get your deck. The center pile would be neutral. The right pile would be images that you're absolutely in love with. And the left pile would be cards that you have resistance to. And when I saw her do that process, I was like, I need to do that process for this one, because there's at least 2 cards for sure, if not 3, that I have definite resistance to. Now, what does that mean? The resistance probably just has to do with my shadow side, because some of them look a little devil-y to me in a negative way. And, like, don't get me wrong, I have a lot of tarot decks that have a very negative looking devil on it. But for some reason, in this box of witches, it struck the wrong chord. So I will get to work through that now, guys. So I know that there are many other unboxings out there of this beautiful deck, but I wanted to jump in on that bandwagon because it's such a comprehensive guide. I'm just going to open it right off the bat and get going and start talking about everything that I experienced up to this point. So automatically, I loved the huge book. First of all, I'm like, oh my God, how huge are the cards? And then, like, they're so tiny, like, compared to, the book is so huge. Anyway, I really loved how much effort and work they put into this beautiful book. I mean, it's in color full on. And I'm a sucker for fairy fantasy art. I really love it. And if it feels elven to me, that's another thing. And this feels elvish to me right here, the Lover's card. So I want to go right back to the beginning. And so here's another fairy, right? This girl was the one that actually sold me on it. This one, and I'll show you the other card that, like, okay, I have to get this deck simply because it clarifies to me the meaning of these cards in a deeper, more I don't know, personal level. And just wait until we get this other deck that I've been waiting for a while. You'll be able to see what I mean in that. But we have an introduction here, a very lengthy introduction, and I will be going through this. Dawn Michelle has inspired me to start delving deeper into my cards. So there has been a type of storybook artwork that I have been kind of going after. And this, it's almost like a novelist. Oftentimes it's related with romance novels, but I'm not necessarily looking for romance art. It's just more of that, just that homey type of art there that are in some of the books. Gorgeous. She's gorgeous. I do have resistance to this card too, and I don't know why. I've seen Empress expressed in so many different ways. But yeah, resistance comes up for me in this card. So I get to explore that. Love this Hermit card here. Yeah, I love this style of art. I mean, death, come on. This has got to be the coolest picture of death. I mean, with a woman grieving in the background, like showing that death holds no discretion. Death holds no favors, you know. And talking about a little bit of the story here, what the sign is, Scorpio, right? Decay and death, skull and bone, old order is overthrown. Fear not, there is no need to mourn. Rise anew to be reborn. So love that. Love that, love that. And then I know in the back here, we're going to come upon some spells, which here's another thing that I'm like, I don't really, for myself personally, I don't believe in spells. I believe in intentions, which are the same thing, basically, in my opinion, in my book. Setting intentions and practicing intentions the way that I do is the same as spells, in that regard. But spells can have such a negative connotation. An old-fashioned view of spells is bending somebody else to your own will, which really, altruistic practicing, that's not really what they're trying to do, right? So I have to get past my spells resistance too, because yeah, spell casting steps. It's very similar to just intention setting. Write out your magical intention, gather corresponding items, consider timing, cleanse, visualize, express gratitude, release, and trust. See, so when I intend with my mediumship practice, it's pretty much like this. So, for me, that feels way more powerful. But for those of you that are super interested in spells, which there's nothing wrong with, she does have them, and as well as spreads here. So soulmate spread, new lover spread, spell for romantic love, and then she gives a little spell for romantic love. You need the lover's card, that's one of the ingredients. You need chai tea, you need a cinnamon stick, 3 peppercorns, cream, and sugar. And then it tells you how to make this. I love that. It's super fun. It just makes it interactive, right? If you happen to identify with being a witch and you love tarot, this makes it extra fun. So we have Witch's Garden spread, finance spread, happy home spread, ancestral wisdom, love spread, health spread, life transition spread, past life spread, life choices spread, sacred soul spread, dream work spread, meet my spirit guide spread. I know a lot of you would be interested in that one. And then we have signs of things to come spread, destiny spread. That's kind of fun. And then the conclusion. So there's spells, there's spreads in here. And then there was one other thing I wanted to look at. Yeah, one other thing. We will find out. I believe that the Justice and the Wheel of Fortune were reversed in regards to their numbers. And I'm hoping that's been fixed with this deck and that I don't have to write to the author to have it fixed. For a while it wasn't fixed, that's why. So we have a nice ribbon box here, hard, sturdy carrying case that houses the book and the deck together. The cards feel really light. Let's go ahead and dig right into them. So, I also got this deck because specifically it's in linen, guys, and I do love my linen decks. There's something about the textile feel of it that just really, I love it. So I see a lot of people that gilded these cards. These ones are not gilded. I tried that and I failed miserably, so I guess I need to do some tutorials on how to gild cards. But these have a really nice, comfortable size. You can see my hand is very comfortable in reaching this spread. I like the symbol of the elements that he has on his shirt there. You could see very, very, very tinily, there's a little angel flying behind him. He's cast away his knowledge. Maybe it's casting away logic, right? Because logic would tell him, don't go this way. So he's cast away logic, and he's carrying a different type of knowledge with him now that has given him the courage to go ahead and keep on walking. So I love that. Let's fast forward a little bit. So yeah, there's the Empress. Expose her. Maybe it's red. I don't know. I'm learning a new appreciation for red. It was a color that my mom really loved, and therefore I absolutely hate it, you know, as a child growing up. So maybe it has something to do with that. So here's the beautiful lover's card that we were talking about. I just love it when it's on linen paper. I mean, it just makes me feel like I have a good quality deck that's gonna last, and it's not gonna fray and split at the edges here, you know? So we have the Chariot. Look how beautiful these are. And I must say, it doesn't translate on video, guys. On video, it just looks kind of glossed over, and then in real life, it looks tactile and dimensional. It looks dimensional. It just looks flat on the screen. So here it is, Justice. Let's see. 10, 11. It looks like they fixed it. The number was incorrect on Justice. So finally, so many revolutions later, Wheel of Fortune, and then we have Justice did end up getting fixed. 10, 11, yep. So I like her. Even her face looks like the personality of Justice, right? Very straight to the point, no muss, no sugarcoating a gosh darn thing. She is just, you know, she's built on dedication. Look at these biceps on her. You can tell she has a practice with her sword work that keeps her focused and disciplined and does not tolerate nincompoops or ninnies. There's none of that. There's none. Look at her face. No nincompoops or ninnies allowed in here. I love that, obviously. It's interesting. So there are multiple characters in this deck that have the white eyes. That's another thing I have resistance to, because to me that means exorcist. I have a lot of old ideals from old movies and stuff like that. So seeing white eyes, I think exorcist, right? And that can be scary to some people. And I have to explain, no, it's she's going within to have different sight. This is clear sight. She's, you know, having visions. It's like, yeah, so I have to like explain that to myself. And there's a beaver here that I've never noticed in the Hanged Man before, and I know it has a connection to the Hanged Man, and now I'm curious. I want to see the beaver and what its relation to the Hanged Man is. So this is the Tower, and I really, really love this one a lot, because it indicates to me, so like the original Rider-Waite-Smith shows the Tower, and it shows people falling to their death, which can feel really unsettling for us sensitive souls out here. But really, I feel like in life, spirit in the world never sets you up for that kind of failure. Like, oh, Tower moment, yeah, you're all just gonna die. Like, no, there's actually a contingency plan. Yes, your foundation needed to be ripped out from underneath you because it was never stable to begin with. But if you are not in resistance, you will be taken care of. You will be guided. If you're not in fear and you're not in worry and doubt, the universe will always catch you. The universe is always there to catch you. And it's like, okay, what if I'm in fear and doubt? Will it not catch me? Yeah, actually, the universe still catches you when you're in fear and doubt. It just, you miss a lot more signs that could have alleviated that fear before because you were so focused on the fear, right? It's kind of strange. But anyway, I just love how like lightning came down, struck their treehouse. But look, their treehouse was never meant to stand for a long period of time anyway. Anybody could see that, right? So I love that. And it's children, right? So we know that we have some skill and that we're building things up, but in the eyes of source energy, we are still children. experimenting and playing with things. And so when we have these tower moments, it's a gift. It's not a curse. It's not a punishment, because we have friends along the way that will help us and guide us through everything. And you can't see it necessarily. It looks just like a leaf or a flower, but this is a fairy getting ready to herald these kids into something better, more sturdy. And I'm sure there's a meaning with these animals here too that are holding it. So Ace of Wands. So here's another one of my resistance. I didn't really like her black nails, and I didn't love the snake coming up her arm. Okay, so like I would have a certain amount of cards in my resist pile over here. But yeah, this is another one that kind of does that for me. I definitely, resistance comes right up for the snake and the black nail. Six of Wands. Celebration, inner success, outer success. 10 of Wands, feeling a little overburdened by carrying the weight of every passion that you've ever came across in life. It's getting a little hot back there. Okay, this was the card, and I was hoping Spirit would bring it up in our shuffle through, and they did. So this was the exact card. So the Four of Cups. This is a great personification, I feel like, of the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups usually just shows a dowdy looking person looking sad and depressed, and a strange, crazy hand coming out from the middle of nowhere offering a cup, which I feel like is meant to be the unseen world or the divine, right? The little God winks that you get throughout the day. And look, she's just not seeing it. She's like, gosh, I have these 3 cups, and yeah, it's raining out, but I just don't want to deal with it. And I'm not even catching anything anyway. There's no rain. And here comes this fairy showing up with abundance, flowers, water, a full cup ready to go, because it's just overflowing and spilling right there. She can't see it. She's not ready to see it yet. And I love that card because it just gives me that emotional feel of the Four of Cups. You're kind of like just not feeling it. Yes, friends are there to create mischief and fun and happiness for you. But you have to let go of something in order to rise up to that, right? And the Four of Cups is really asking you, what are you needing to let go of so that you can feel more emotionally fulfilled? What do you need to pause and figure out what it is that you need to help you feel fulfilled in this life? So I really like that. This was another one that I had resistance to. 9 of Cups, because she just doesn't give me the feeling of an abundant 9 of Cups. I mean, I don't know, it looks like she's a troll underneath a bridge. Like, how is that? Like, that doesn't compute with me, and that she's even a sorcerer or a witch that, you know, I don't know, maybe she curses people. That's what comes to mind, right? She looks a little bit deviant. So I have some working through of my shadow self with this deck, because I know so many other people, they have no problems with this whatsoever. But I'm used to the 9 of Cups being super happy, super fulfilled. But look, there's a treasure chest underneath the bridge here, which is interesting because 9 of Cups is also about seeking fulfillment from outside external sources, when it's in reverse anyway. And anyway, moving on. I like this one a lot. Typically this is depicted as a man and a woman and 2 children, which, you know, in our society, it's like, oh, husband and wife and their kids, right? But since we're moving into this more expansive mindset that a family doesn't have to look like a mother and father and 2 kids, right? A family can look a bunch of different ways. So I like that. And they don't even have to be married. Like, this is just a beautiful family. Like, what if she's a single mom and that's her daughter, and she's a single mom and that's her son, and they're just deciding to live their happy life? Or what if they are madly in love and they are a couple and they are creating their beautiful life? Like, I love this because it just gives all possibilities. Like, what is your dream life? Because even here I have the cat sleeping with the dog. So what are you trying to create? I like that a lot. 7 of Swords, which to me is about conforming and wearing masks that you feel are expected of you. So conditioned responses to learning, through society, through whatever. This is the way that you feel you need to perform in order to get what you need in life. So I like that. Here you could see these are their swords that they've held up against the shed, and she's chosen her 2 favorites. And she's leaving now. And it looks like she grabbed some other stuff too. Maybe she's going to go sell the swords. I don't know. But she feels like she has to be devious in order to meet her goals in life. And I just like the different take, the different artwork. Whenever I can find a tarot deck that gives me a different perspective on the meaning of the card, I jump on it because I love it so much. Just like the last card we talked about, right? So this was another one, like I showed in the beginning, that fairy, 2 of Pentacles. Maybe she's just beginning with magic and she doesn't exactly know how to balance it out. And maybe she's like Hermione Granger in Harry Potter, and she knows a lot of book knowledge, but now she doesn't know how to actually apply it. To apply it, she is having to focus quite a bit and juggle quite a lot on her plate, and she really doesn't have awareness around her at the moment because she's so focused on balancing these 2 with this newfound ability she has. So I kind of like that as 2 of Pentacles in my book and what it means. So 5 of Pentacles has been a card that has haunted me, and now I feel like I definitely understand the deeper meaning of this card for me. And oftentimes we feel like it's just us against the world and that we need to make it or break it, and ain't nobody gonna help you, and it's every man for himself, and it's a dog-eat-dog world. Well, this is the exact representation of all of that. You're forgetting that you're not in this world alone, and it's not even talking about the other physical people in this world. It's talking about the spiritual team that you came in with. It's talking about the legions of help and angels and loved ones and ancestors across the veil that want nothing more than to see you succeed. And you're combined with your own will, right? So it's like source energy is offering you help. All they have to do is take a left into the church and they could be offered help. But they feel like they have to do it all on their own, and they don't want to take charity, and they're proud, and help from God shouldn't come from that way, and help from God would look differently. I'd be able to do it on my own without the help of anybody. So I have a lot of stubbornness about that I should be able to do it without the help of anybody, but we don't live in this world alone. We live in this world with not just a bunch of other people, but with lots of subtle energies that are there to help us. So this, to me, this card is about tapping into that. So 10 of Pentacles, building your legacy, building your abundance in life. Gosh, that looks pretty abundant. And look at this sage grandma over here. She has the signs of the stars and the universe on her cape. This is something that's hard won for her. She's gone through many, 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 many experiences that have led her to this beautiful wisdom, as she now has a basket overflowing to offer this beautiful family. Page of Swords. Fairy! Super cool. I don't have a lot to say about that. Knight of Pentacles. Also, you know, all of her knights, see, are there even any guys in here? For heaven's sakes. Yes, there's guys. The kings look like kings. You never know which way it's going to go in some of these decks. So we have the Knight of Pentacles here, the Midas touch. I don't know what that thing is. Should be interesting to read about. And the last 2 cards, Queen of Pentacles. I'm used to seeing her black cat somewhere because that represents her shadow self that she's come to terms with. I see the rabbit that represents abundance. Not really sure. It'll be fun to dive deep into these cards. And then we have the King of Pentacles. He looks so happy. King of Pentacles. Okay, let's give it a good shuffle. This is what the backs look like. I know you've seen it. They have more of a high gloss on the back. Let's give it a good shuffle. Oh man, it shuffles like silk. Jeez. I just love the way linen cards bend. It's like they can bend without creating a crease necessarily. What is it that this deck can help to facilitate learn for these viewers that are watching now? What does this deck have to offer to teach the viewers that are viewing it now? What does this deck have to offer to teach the viewers that are watching now? How to be clear of thought, how to be decisive and knowledgeable, and learning how to use your heart in tandem with your logic and reason. Let's see what the guidebook has to say. As you know, I always do a sampling of the guidebook. Let's see how easy it is to find over here. Nice table of contents. No, let's see. Did I pass it? I didn't even talk about the creators, guys. I'm so sorry. Sasha Graham and art by Natasa something or other. I can't say her last name. Okay, so this is going to be a minor arcana. Minor just starts at 19. Okay. Minor just starts at 19. Okay, let's see. Let's see how quickly I can find it. The World, cups, 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 swords. There we are. And we're going to do King of Swords. Okay. And I think the kings are in a different section. 10, yeah. Maybe it's at the beginning. Sometimes they do. Nope. Looks like... No, it's in a totally different section. Oh my goodness. Royals and rulers. There we go. Okay. It's in the royals and rulers section, guys. Let's find it. Page of Swords, Knight of Swords, Queen of Swords, whew, and King of Swords. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. Here we go. He's Aquarius. The King of Swords is the energy that forms words and creates the structure of the mind. He is the organizing principle of air, therefore he decides how and where the wind shall blow. The King of Swords is a master planner who sees the entire picture and understands everything required. He organizes the mind like the software of a computer. If the Queen is the wind that blows, the King is the windmill who captures its power and channels it into energy. I like that. I like that a lot. The King of Swords sits upon the throne of air, wearing a butterfly crown to match his queen. He is the master of discernment. His sword points straight to the sky as if a channel for clarity. He holds the book of knowledge above his lap. A snowy owl perches on the king's throne, which is inscribed with arcane markings. These mysterious engravings reveal the inner working magic of the mind. The owl represents clear vision and seeing through darkness. The King of Swords reflects intellect forming ideas as well as scientific and mathematic achievement. His thoughts form through rules of logic. The material world aligns with his cognition. He imagines the world into existence. Let him remind you that all thought has the potential to become reality. So upright, deadlines are met, bold thinking should be applied to your situation, rules and regulations will work in your favor, look into new and far-reaching directions, stand in your power, speak your mind. I like that. So that is the inscription for the King of Swords. What do you think, guys? Do you have this deck already? Do you like how it reads? Does it give you accurate reads? Give me some of your thoughts. anybody who's just coming into this field of tarot, which is why I created this channel, to act as an aid to those of you that might be just entering the field of tarot, to see a deeper look into maybe what kind of cards would I like even, because sometimes the back is just not enough to get that feel for it. So without going through every single card and ruining all the surprises, you get that on my channel. You get to kind of see, you know. Page of Swords. See, interesting, we're just getting a lot of sword energy, and the one that popped out was the Knight of Wands. Look at that. Super awesome. Anyways, guys, I've got some AI decks coming up for you. I'm going to do a double unboxing with the AI decks, and we'll talk about AI and how you feel about that and where we're going with that and the ethics around it. Should we even be buying AI decks? I feel like it's a disservice to the artists that make every single card. But let's have a discussion. Tell me what your thoughts are. But until next time, guys, thanks for stopping in. Peace.